So I made these 4 cardio mistakes when I first tried to lose weight, and it literally took me 3 times longer to reach my goal. Okay, but good news is if you avoid these 4 mistakes and you literally change nothing else in your lifestyle right now, you can still see scale drop. So let's dive in. Mistake number 1 when it comes to cardio that I see all the time is focusing on quantity of cardio, meaning we think more is better, right? And I remember for years I would buy gym memberships, barely use them because I couldn't get motivated to go. But when I would go, I would just spend all my time on the cardio machine, the treadmill, the elliptical, the bike, the stairmaster, the rower. Like I just lived on the cardio machines, and I thought the more I sweat, and I thought the longer I worked, the more calories I would burn. And so basically, the habit that I got into is I used to think that if I'm gonna go on a treadmill, I have to go for at least an hour to burn the right amount of calories to actually lose weight. And so I focus on quantity of cardio instead of the quality of the cardio that I was doing. When I switched to quality of cardio instead of just, I need to do half an hour, I need to do an hour, I need to do 2 hours, I need to do 6 days a week, right? Instead of just frequency and volume, I switched to quality. When I did that, my results skyrocketed. And not only that, I was more excited to work out. I could keep up with my plan longer, right? Like when you have a long day and you know you're supposed to work out, or you know you've scheduled in a cardio session, right? I have to go to the elliptical tonight, or I want to go for a run, or I have to do a workout. When we do these things and we've associated these things with taking up a lot of time and energy, right? Like running an hour on the treadmill takes a long time. And when you're tired at the end of the day, you just can't muster out the energy to do that. You almost have to hype yourselves up. You need a lot of motivation to go do the thing. But if I said, there's a way to get the same results in just 10 minutes, you don't have to hype yourself up for 10 minutes. You can put a timer on for 10 minutes and then you get to stop. Okay, so super simple. And that's the thing that people don't realize a lot of the time. It's not about how much you do. In fact, the more you do, the slower your results are going to be. It's about quality, okay? Not only is a crazy amount of cardio not sustainable, and why would we ever start something that we can't do forever, right? There's no point. There's an expiration on it. It's a matter of time till you fall off. And why would we do something that requires an insane amount of motivation to get done? Okay, because motivation is scarce as it is, especially on those rough days, those tired days. It's just hard to come by sometimes. So why would we bet on the fact that we need to be motivated to get something done? Okay, and I have a story where about a year ago I was invited over to dinner to a friend's house, and I hadn't seen these friends in a long time. And it was just like, hey, come over, catch up. We miss each other. And so we get to this friend's house and we start catching up and it's awesome. And all of a sudden they put on a game, right? There was a soccer game on. And I don't mind watching sports. And if I knew this was like a sports party, I probably wouldn't have come. It was more supposed to be a hangout party, but they put this game on and this whole family, while me and Ryan, my husband, were sitting there, they were like zombies watching this game. And so we spent hours doing nothing. We spent hours accomplishing nothing and no connection together. We spent a large quantity of time together, but that was not a quality of time. We did not spend quality. So the same thing goes for your cardio experience. It has to be quality. It's not about quantity. In fact, the reason we think it needs to be quantity is the very reason we haven't been doing it and been consistent with it in the first place, because it's just too overwhelming, right? And not to mention, let me know, tell me in the comments below if this is something that you actually suffer from. I remember because I built this such negative relationship with cardio, I always started doing cardio math in my head. So let's say I was gonna go for a 30-minute run and I was like 10 minutes into my run. And when I was 10 minutes in, I would start I wanna quit, I wanna jump off the treadmill because it wasn't working. What's the point? I'm tired. And I'd start having to talk myself into staying on the treadmill. And so I start doing weird cardio math, right? So if I'm 10 minutes into my 30-minute run, I'll start saying things like, okay, I'm done 10 minutes. If I just do that one more time, then I only have 10 minutes left, right? Or if I finish 1 minute, I'm like, okay, do that 1 minute 4 more times, then you're 5 minutes in. And I start to do this weird cardio mag because I have to convince myself and motivate myself to finish. But if you stop doing quantity and focus on quality, like, was it an actual good cardio session? Are you present? You're not zoning out watching TV. You're not zoning out doing X, Y, and Z. You're not dreading it, having negative self-talk this whole time or negative association with exercise. Are you actually present during your workout? And are you pushing yourself to some level? Okay. If you do that, it doesn't have to be long. Now, mistake number 2 that I see all the time is thinking that low intensity cardio is going to do the job. And I get so many women, like I've been on thousands and thousands of one-on-one consultations with women around the world. And a lot of them, I'll sit down and say, okay, what kind of activity are you doing right now? Some of them will say nothing, that's totally okay. And some of them will be like, well, I work out all the time. I'm like, okay, cool. We got a base to work with. What's your style of working out? And then they'll say, oh, well, I walk every day. Here's the thing. Walking is excellent for mental health, for circulation, for joint health, clarity, focus. It is great for a lot of things. It is not going to be great for fat loss. We do not burn nearly as many calories walking as you think you do. You've been walking since you were almost born, right? Like just a few months after you were born, you've already started to crawl and walk. So we are so good and efficient at walking. We burn like no energy, no calories having to walk. So you will not walk the weight off. Okay, I'm sorry to break it to you. You will not walk weight off. Okay, if you only walk from here on out, I promise you will never reach your weight loss goal. And I promise you above that, because scale's not always most important, I promise you'll never have the body that you want. The toning, the shaping, the lifting, you will not have that if all you do is low intensity things like walking. They are great. Do not get rid of them completely. But you need some high intensity. And when I say high intensity, it scares a lot of people because they think, I can't do that, or I'm out of shape, or I'm going to hurt myself. But the good news is when I say high intensity, I mean high intensity for you. High intensity just for you. Okay, not what my version of high intensity is. My version of high intensity, because I've been practicing for so long, is sprinting. I love sprinting. I get the biggest high and endorphin rush. It is crazy. But I work my way up to that. If you don't sprint, don't freaking sprint. If you can't, if you got bad knees or you're out of shape, like that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying if you can have a conversation while you're performing your cardio, it's not hard enough. Why are we doing it? Okay. In order to expend the necessary energy for you to lose weight and actually get the benefits for some body recomposition, you need to increase your intensity to what is difficult for you, okay? I would say if you're not feeling like it's a 6 out of 10, then you need to accept that that's not going to help your weight loss. You need to accept that, okay, if I'm going to walk at a 5 out of 10 difficulty, I'm not doing it for my weight loss today. I'm doing it for my mental health, right? But if you're going to go and do a workout that says, hey, I want to get strong, but I also want to move towards my weight loss goals, then the difficulty needs to be at least a 6. And I would say, push for 7, like at least a 7 out of 10 in terms of difficulty to get the fat burning results that you want. Now, how do you know that you had a good high intensity exercise? Well, the good news is you can't do it for long. If it was intense enough, we don't even suffer from mistake number 1, which is quantity, because you literally can't go at a higher intensity for longer. So you're going to automatically decrease the time you have to do something, which is awesome because guess what? We're all busy. We don't have a ton of time for things all the time. And number 2, by the end of this cardio session, you should be slightly out of breath. You shouldn't be able to have a normal conversation. Your skin should be nice and slush and pink, maybe a little red. Your heart rate is elevated. You're breathing a little heavy. There's signs that you worked. Now, you don't have to have a huge puddle of sweat around you. You don't have to you need to lay on the ground because you're going to pass out. That, again, is not sustainable, that level of exertion. You're going to hurt yourself, and it's something you can't keep up, right? You can do that every now and then if you love that feeling, but again, that's something I'm talking about. But low intensity, this is a results killer, okay? Low intensity. We got to switch to moderate to high intensity. But good news is, like I said, it's what is your version of high intensity, okay? So stop the low intensity if your goal is weight loss. Now, the next mistake that I see all the time is not mixing it up, okay? So if you like running, you stick to running. If you like the bike, you stick to the bike, right? We're picking the same cardio over and over and over again. Here's the problem with this, okay? Like I mentioned with the walking, we're really good at it, so we don't expend a lot of energy. When you do the same type of cardio again and again, your body gets good at it. So let's say you're used to doing the elliptical for an hour. That usually used to burn 400 calories, let's just say. Over time, when you get good at it, you're now going to only burn 300 calories in the same hour. So now you need to work even longer if you want to hit that same 400 calories, which again is not sustainable. We can't keep adding minutes and hours to our cardio. Like, that's just crazy. And so by not mixing up your cardio, you are allowing yourself to get really efficient at that mode of cardio and therefore decreasing the fat burning effect. If you really want to increase the fat burning effect, you need to Stop doing the same thing over and over again and mix it up. So what do I mean by that? Let's say you do the elliptical. Let's say you're used to doing it 4 times a week for 30 minutes. Awesome, cool. You love it. It's easy. It's in your routine. No problem. Maybe we do it 3 times a week and then we pick one extra cardio for the fourth time a week and we switch it up. Why? Because it's just going to it's going to be a shock to our system and it's going to require a learning curve. But whenever there's a learning curve, physically and mentally, it requires more energy, which means more calories burned, which means more fat getting burned. Okay. So do not stick to the same thing over and over again. Maybe once a week, twice a month, even if you can't do it every week, change it up, right? If you're used to the elliptical, try running. If you're used to running, try swimming. If you're used to swimming, go do a Zumba class, right? Something that elevates your heart rate in a different way than you're used to. And normally, yes, you're not going to be good at it and it will probably be a little harder than usual, but that's only because you haven't practiced it. And then when it gets easier, that's a sign to switch it up again. And by the way, this also keeps things interesting, okay? If you find that you're getting bored with your workouts or you can't get motivated to exercise because it's like really boring, right? Like who wants to walk on a treadmill for an hour after a long day of work when really you just want to sit, watch The Bachelor and, even come to Ben and Jerry's, right? Like the odds are stacked against us. So pick something that you might enjoy, or at the very least, you do not hate doing. Okay. So that is that. And, get creative with it. Get creative. You can go line dancing. You know what I mean? Like get creative, have fun. You got to get excited for something. Okay. Now, number 4 is only doing cardio. Okay. So only doing cardio in your machine or in your routine. So what's the problem with only doing cardio if you're trying to lose weight? Well, again, okay, you're going to get very good at cardio. It's going to slow down your metabolism because you get efficient at it, so you're not going to be burning very many calories. And then in order to burn the same amount of calories, you're going to need to increase the duration. So cardio, if we only do cardio, especially low intensity cardio, you are playing a losing battle when it comes to your weight loss because you're only going to have to add and add and add more to see the same amount of weight loss that you used to see in the beginning. It's very hard to catch up with, and it's very demotivating, to be frank. I deal with a lot of women who come to me and say, I'm running so much and I'm on the elliptical all the time and the scale is still not budging. And it's just because it's only cardio, okay? So you can't do only cardio if you want to lose weight. In fact, if I had to recommend a way to lose weight the fastest, I would say don't do any cardio. If you had to choose between doing cardio and lifting weights, I would rather you do no cardio ever again and stick to just lifting weights. That is how beneficial and powerful the effects of weightlifting are, okay? When you build a muscle, okay, nice feminine muscle. I'm not talking about getting bulky here. When we lift weights and we build some muscle, just by making that muscle bigger, it's now requiring more food to stay alive. If it's bigger, it needs more fuel. That means by just making, that bicep bigger, it's going to burn more calories. Oh my gosh, crazy. It's going to burn more calories sleeping. It's going to burn more calories while you're typing on your computer because it's just requiring more fuel to stay that size now, that new big size, okay? So if you're only doing cardio, I promise you, you're going to never lose weight, or you're going to lose weight, but you're going to stay the exact same shape, just smaller. So picture your shape right now. Are you a pear shape? Are you an apple? Are you an hourglass, which is extra weight? Whatever your body shape is, if you only do cardio to get there and you do not add in some type of resistance training, okay, that could be doing a group exercise boot camp. It can be going to the gym and lifting machines, getting a personal trainer, right? Just lifting weights, doing a bunch of body weight stuff, push-ups, squats, stuff like that. Just getting the muscles burning, okay? Not necessarily needing heavy weight, but are you burning out your muscles, not just your lungs, okay? If you do not add in that muscular training, what you will see happen to your body is you will get loose skin, you will get saggy butt, saggy tummy, saggy like really jiggly underarm, and you will be the shape that you won't be the shape that you want. You won't be a body composition or the shape that you want. Okay, you'll just be the shape that you have now. Okay, if we outlined your shape, if we laid you down on the pavement and outlined your shape, okay, you'd be that exact same shape, just smaller. If all you do is cardio. Okay, so once you add in the weights, you can actually shrink the waist and lift the bum and tone the arms, right? And do all this cool stuff and give you some definition in the side, shrink the inner side, right? Tighten that up. So if you're not getting resistance training, you are missing out. So those are the 4 mistakes that I see when people are trying to lose weight and they go to cardio to do it the most, okay? So you have to choose a quality cardio routine instead of quantity. You have to go moderate to high intensity. Low intensity will not get you any weight loss results. You have to start mixing it up. Okay. Don't just do the exact same cardio routine every single time you do cardio because your body will get efficient. And add in some weight training. It will accelerate your results. It will speed up your metabolism, and only cardio will not do that. Okay. Hope you guys enjoy. Comment, like, subscribe. Let me know if this was helpful to you. I'd love to hear if you are suffering from any of these mistakes and how you'll change it going forward. And if you want any help, if you're out there and you're over 200 pounds and you're like, I don't know what to do. There's so much out there. I'm confused. I'm hiding my body in baggy clothing. I keep saying I'll start next Monday. I'm always obsessing over what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat, and I just don't know what to do for me. If you want help accelerating your weight loss, if you want to lose 20 pounds over the next 6 weeks, if you click the link in the description below, you can head over to my website and I've got a lot of awesome resources and I can help you out there. Okay, so I will see you on the next video.